Hello class, kumusta kayong lahat? Now, this is a continuation of lesson 4. Actually, this is the third part kasi apat na parts po itong lesson 4 natin. For this video lecture, we will be talking about systems management. Well, actually, medyo maiksi lang itong systems management, yung merong kahabaan, yung pang-apat, about operations management. But of course, dito muna ang ating focus, systems management, pagmamanage ng systems. If you are still familiar or if you can still recall your IT application tools na subject, it talks about system software. Isa sa mga part doon ay pinag-uusapan yung system software. Kasi when we are dealing with systems management or we are managing the systems, of course, these are softwares. Okay, kaya nga pag sinabi kasi nating system softwares, it's either an operating system or a utility program. But in general, yung definition nito is programs that control or maintain the operations of the computer and its devices. Okay? Take a look, programs that control and maintain the operations of the computer. And it serves as the interface between the user, the application software, and the computer's hardware. Now, wala po ito sa inyong IM because I pick it up, sa aking IT application tools na subject. And, well, etong slide na ito in particular ay pinick up ko doon sa chapter 1 on the introduction to computers. But a detailed discussion, detailed video lecture of system software, in particular on the OS and the utility programs, is available on chapter 7 on operating systems and utility programs na aking video lecture. So, if you want to visit it, kung sakali lang na interested ka, you can revisit it. Hanapin nyo na lang po ito sa aking YouTube, sa aking mga videos. Wala kasi itong playlist. Okay, now, pag-usapan natin. On the context of our subject, auditing in the CIS environment, specifically doon sa IM na ating reference material, when we are talking of system software, take note of these 4 na definitions, nilagyan ko ito ng ABCD para makita ninyo na magkakaiba ito, pero connected. Wala po itong ABCD sa ating IM, ha? Dinagdag ko lang po ito. 1, or letter A, it is a highly specialized set of computer programs. Take note, highly specialized set, but they are computer software programs. Pangalawa, or letter B, this is, or a system software, is an efficient set of integrated software program or na nakasulat sa machine language designed to communicate with the hardware. Okay? So kaya nga sabi dito, 'di ba? This is an interface. The system software serves as the interface between the user, the application software, and the computer's hardware. So parang ganun yung tinutukoy nitong letter B sa atin, Letter C, it performs a specialized function that supports computer operations. Again, tandaan niyo ito, programs that control or maintain the operations. So it supports the computer operations. And letter D, it provides the operating routines that makes the computer workable at a level for computer programs at the application level. Okay? So, ang system software daw ay mga operating routines na nagwo-work at the computer level, para maging functional yung mga programs na nagwo-work at the application level. Ang tatlong primary functions ng system software ay etong aking nilabel ng hinighlight ng color red. The first one is for label checking, the second one is for memory protection, and the third one is for library protection. Pag sinabi natin, class, na label checking o system software protects the integrity of files during processing and checks the accuracy and validity of new files generated by processing. So, pinapangalagaan ito yung integrity. Okay? Integrity ng mga files habang pinaprocess ito. At chine-check, tama ba? Accurate ba? Wala ba itong mali? Walang kulang? At valid ba yung mga files na na-generate during the processing? So that is label checking. Pangalawa, memory protection. Sa memory protection, ang sinasabi naman kasi dito class is that the system software, no, governs the allocation of computer memory and storage to application programs. Okay, so it governs yung pag-allocate ng mga computer memory, no, and storage to application programs. Kaya nga siya memory protection. Samantalang sa pangatlo, library protection, ano naman ang pinoprotect nito? Yung library. Ano nga ba ibig nito sabihin? It monitors a computer's files automatically to keep track of the application programs stored at any given moment. Kaya nga, let's say for example, no, meron tayong mga disk cleanup, no? Let's say ito, no, for number 2, memory protection. Di ba may mga utility programs tayo like disk cleanup na ang nagiging silbi nito hindi lamang sa ating mga laptop or desktop computer, kahit sa ating mga cellphone, di ba? May mga applications na ganyan na nililinis nito, no, yung ating computer memory for other mga files na pwede nang burahin. O kaya naman yung mga antivirus program, let's say for this number 1, for the protection ng integrity, para maiwasan yung mga virus sa ating mga computer devices. So, ito yung ilan sa mga functions ng mga system softwares. Take note, label checking, memory protection, and library protection. For number 3, siguro pwede nating ma-connect dito yung mga file management, di ba? File manager, di ba? Na nagsusort out and nagma-manage ng library. Because when we are talking of library, that is a collection of, let's say, files, di ba? Okay. Next, pag-usapan naman natin class ang systems maintenance. Simple lang ang ibig nito sabihin, no? When we are talking of systems maintenance, changes made to systems or application softwares na ginagawa para ma-maintain an effective, efficient, operational, and up-to-date system. So basically, no, 'di ba? Kung nasiraan tayo ng kotse, nasiraan tayo ng motor o mga applications or mga appliances sa bahay, 'di ba? Inaayos natin ito. Mini-maintain natin ito para syempre magamit natin siya. So ganun din sa systems. So of course, dapat merong systems maintenance. Kasi what happens is if nagkaroon tayo ng problema sa ating system, syempre maapektuhan nito yung operations. Maapektuhan nito yung mga users na gumagamit ng systems na yon. So this is a crucial activity sa isang organization. And it can be applied to several areas within the IT facility. Now, ang sinasabi dito that the systems maintenance carries one of the highest risk of exposure. I-categorize natin ito sa dalawa. Yung mga bagong programs or bagong installed na mga systems at saka yung mga luma na. For the newly installed systems, ang trabaho ng maintenance group, yung mga tao na in charge for systems maintenance is to track down and eliminate the remaining bugs in the system. Pag sinasabi natin na bugs sa computer, we are talking here of mga errors. Okay? So, ang trabaho ng mga maintenance group is hanapin yung mga errors na yan. And eliminate, no? Hindi lamang i-identify. Of course, we have to do something. And we have to eliminate the errors. Now, doon sa mga operational naman, yung mga existing na, ano naman ang trabaho ng maintenance group? Okay? Dito makikita ninyo, hinighlight ko, no? Or binold ko siya. They are responsible for making the changes requested by the user. So, halimbawa, may mga changes, request for changes, yung mga users, no? So, the systems maintenance group are responsible for doing that, no? As long as the request was duly approved by those in charge, no? Until all the entire system is replaced and the development cycles begins all over again. Alam niyo kasi, itong mga systems na ito, it tends to become obsolete as time passes by. Kapag may mga bagong, syempre, no, nagbabago yung business model, nagbabago yung business, may mga panibagong business request. So, sa paglipas ng panahon, may mga bagong requirements. So, nagiging luma na yung dati na bago. At, okay, to cater the demands, the needs of the users, we have to update. And then we will go back to your SLDC, SDLC, Systems Development Lifecycle. So magde-develop naman tayo hanggang sa magkaroon tayo ng bagong-bago. Okay? Ang primary focus of a systems maintenance audit is the change of control process or how IT personnel manage change. Okay? So yan po ang pagdating sa systems maintenance. Now, let's talk about database technology. Pag sinabi kasi natin na database, this is a collection of data na nakastore in an electronic format na magagamit for many applications. Kagaya ng nasa illustration natin dito, yung nasa picture. Etong makikita ninyo sa likod ng mga laptops, ito yung representation ng database. Okay? So, collection ng mga data na nanggagaling dito. Okay? Sa iba't ibang computers. Okay? When we are talking of a DBMS or the Database Management System, ito naman yung software na nag-organize ng mga data para magamit ng ibang mga applications. So, parang behind this database is our database management system that manages the database, yung mga na nag-organize, nagki-keep track or nagme-maintain ng mga data coming from individual programs, individual computers, okay, para meron tayong central storage. Pag pinag-usapan natin database, you consider it as a data storage, kung saan nakastore yung mga data. Okay? Now, a database management system helps to input, maintain, and extract information from a database. Two-way po yan, class. Hindi lamang pag-i-store, pagpapadala ng mga data from the computer devices papunta sa database. Two-way, ibig sabihin, kung kinakailangan natin yung information from the database, di available din ang DBMS para ma-extract yung information at ma-provide doon sa mga users na nangangailangan nito. Of course, doon sa kanilang mga physical devices. Now, I have a discussion, detailed discussion on database management sa aking IT application tools na subject. And you may check it if you want. It is chapter 9 on database management na video lecture. Okay? So, that's it, class, about database technology. So, kinakailangan natin yan for systems maintenance, systems management because, of course, saan ba nanggagaling? At saan ba yung ating storage? Kasi usually sa ngayon, centralized yung mga storage. Of course, dito manggagaling yan sa ating mga database. Okay, now, under a database technology, meron tayong 4 na basic types of database structure. Yung hierarchical, yung network, yung object-oriented, at saka yung relational data model. Pag sinabi natin na hierarchical data model, ito lang tandaan nyo dyan. Yung key terms na parent-child data relationship. So, parent-child, diba? Merong parent nasa taas and then different child. Okay? So, pag gagawa natin ito ng hierarchy, meron kang isa sa taas, that is your parent, tapos meron kang mga child units dito sa baba. Okay? So, parent-child relationship, It processes data efficiently and is appropriate for stable applications with large volume of data. Pagdating naman sa network data model, okay, of course, we are using network. Okay, what I try to say here is, pag network kasi 'di ba, marami yung mga connected, So in a network data model, it enables many-to-many relationships na malilimit, mababawasan ang mga paulit-ulit na data. Pag sinabi kasi natin na redundancy, isa lang dapat, pero may mga duplicates. And syempre, pag maraming duplicates yan, kumakain niya ng storage, di ba? So, kinakailangan, kung meron kasi tayong database, isa lang. So, pag isa kasi, pwede naman na ito magamit ng iba't ibang mga users. Unlike yung file sharing, nakalimutan ko yung specific term. Yung kabaligtaran ng database na usually common yung mga duplications. It also speed up processing. Sa object-oriented model naman, Ito yung kabaliktaran kasi, no, yung opposition ng mga traditional databases kung saan dito naka-enable ang mga objects, no? It enables yung mga drawings, images, photographs, videos, and voices. Pag mga traditional kasi, usually mga textual ito, mga text, no? Mga documents. Pero they are insufficient. Yung mga traditional databases, they are insufficient in handling yung drawings, images, photographs, videos, and voices. Kaya meron tayong mga object-oriented models. Lalo-lalo na siya ngayon, no? Na, di ba, mga object-oriented yung ating mga programs, yung ating mga applications. Kahit nga yung ating mga computer devices, di ba? Graphical user interface, GUI, object-oriented ang mga yan. Unlike pag mga command line na kailangan mong parang maging programmer, no, para makapag-feed ng ng instructions or ng command sa iyong computer. Pag relational database naman, this is designed for flexibility and ad hoc requests. Okay? So eto class yung apat na basic types of database structures. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ang database management systems recovery. Okay? Simple lang ang ibig nitong sabihin. If you still recall, no? Fresh pa ito sa inyo, yung mga backup and recovery. Let's say for disaster risk and recovery, di ba? So, lagi tayong merong recovery, backup and recovery process. Ganun din yan, no? Sa database, when we are managing the database management systems, kinakailangan meron yung recovery system na nagpo-provide sa atin ng instructions when do we do backup. Okay? Para kung sakali na magkaroon ng mga aberya, meron tayong recovery ng mga files na maaring mawala in the process of any disasters or mga fortuitous events. Okay? So, when we are talking of recovery, of course, nandiyan yung backup at yung recovery. Kasi yung recovery process, ito yung pagre-restore. So, backup and restoring, no? Although, mas ginagamit natin yung term na recovery. So, dito, siniset up ulit natin kung ano yung previous na status, no? State nung database at the time na nagkaroon ng failure. Okay? In other words, it is the process of restoring the database to the most recent consistent state that existed shortly before the time of the system failure. So, yan yung recovery. Now, when we are talking of this systems recovery, mayroon tayong apat na recovery facilities to help out on the recovery mechanism. First, ito yung backup mechanism. Second, yung logging facilities. Third, yung checkpoint facility. And fourth, yung recovery manager. Sa backup mechanism, okay, ibig lang nito sabihin, okay, kakopy tayo, no? Magba-backup tayo at specific intervals para dun sa database. Ang logging facilities, it is a tracking, no, or tracing of the current state of transactions and any changes made to the database. Let's say, okay, ano yung mga naging changes dito sa transaction? May mga users na nag-edit, no? May mga users na nag-add ng mga files or nag-delete. So, nagkakaroon ng mga changes. So, merong logging. Nilalog ang mga transactions. So, transaction logs. Take note of that. Checkpoint facility naman, ito sabihin na natin yung periodic updates because it allows updates to the database for getting the latest patches to be made permanent and keep secure from vulnerability. Di ba minsan may mga auto updates pero minsan may mga manual na updates na kailangan mo para maging up to date yung let's say yung operating system mo. So checkpoint facility po ito. Now, of course, for the recovery manager, ito yung pag-restore na ng database, no, to a reliable and steady state after any failure occurs. Okay, so ito po yung apat na recovery facilities natin. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know. You may comment down the question below or you may just approach me sa ating GC. Okay? Now, let's talk about capacity management naman. Sa madaling salita, pag sinabi natin capacity management, how do we manage the capacity? Because when we are talking of capacity, gaano kadami yung pwede mong mailagay sa isang database? Yung capacity nito. Kaya nga 'di ba sa mga ninyo hard disk, sa mga USB, sa mga flash drive, ilan yung capacity niyan? Ilan yung storage nito, 1 terabyte, no? Or 500 gig. Okay, 25 gig. It depends, no? So, that is your capacity. And of course, when we are talking of capacity management, basahin ko, no? This is the process of ensuring that the IT capacity is capable of meeting current and future business needs in a cost-effective fashion. O, laging meron yang cost-effective, no? Dapat meron tayong cost-benefit, no? Beneficial dapat. Okay? In capacity management, the planning and implementation involved, unlike other management areas, are proactive in nature rather than reactive. Proactive, ibig sabihin, no, we take initiative. Tayo yung nangunguna, no? Proactive, parang active ka. Sabihin na natin sa isang klase, ano, sa isang recitation, ikaw yung nagre-raise ng hands. Unlike sa iba na naghihintay na tawagin. Okay? So, pag proactive, you take the initiative. Pag reactive, no, you take the action once you are called upon. Okay? Nagre-react ka. Okay? Now, functions of capacity management. Storage of capacity management data. Okay? That's one. Ensuring required service levels are met in all disciplines. That's two. Third one, with respect to resource utilization, analyzing, monitoring, and tuning the necessary modifications. Number four, understanding the current infrastructure performance and analyze the future requirements, no? And number five, with input from other teams, project the annual growth plan for infrastructure, and last, no, managing the requirements for computing resources. And I want to emphasize this one, computing resources, kasi limited lang naman yung ating capacity, no? Yung ating mga computer resources, yung storage natin, ano, and of course, we want to maximize it. That is why we have this capacity management. Kung may mga bago tayong mga programs na or mga activities, mga functions, ano, na kailangan i-implement at it will eat some of our capacity, no, computing resources, o how do we handle this one? No, that is capacity management. Now, ano bang benefits kasi ng capacity management? Of course, number one, performance improvement, no? Consumption reduction, okay, due to fine-tuning of applications and components of infrastructure. Pangalawa, no, improving the efficiency of provision capacity. It eliminates redundant work, no, and ensuring consistent monitoring of infrastructure components. And last, improvement of IT cost per service unit components. Okay, so that is capacity management. Well, mas maintindihan mo yan. Ang hirap, minsan kasi ano, ang hirap i-visualize, ang hirap intindihin ng isang concept, no? Pag hindi mo pa siya na-experience. Pero once you experience it, then that is the time that you can relate to the concept. At masasabi mo, yun pala yun. Kaya nga dito, ano, sa aking, ano, visual illustration, ginamit ko ito, ano, no, picture na ito para ma-depict ano ibig sabihin ng capacity management. Minsan kasi masyadong magulo, no? Syempre, when we are using database, maraming mga duplication ng files kahit na hindi natin ano no, sinasadya at we want to avoid duplication of files kasi nga naka-database naman na tayo. Pero ano sometimes no, malabo-labo pa rin. So that is why there are capacity management para ma-maximize natin yung computing resources para kung sakaling may mga bagong programs, bagong applications na darating ano, meron tayong space para mangyari yon ano. May sakatuparan yung mga panibagong initiatives. Okay? So that's all for capacity management. Now, before we end our session for this lesson 3, ito ang last na item natin to cover, the server virtualization. When we are talking of a server virtualization, ito yung pagki-create natin ng mga virtual servers coming from a physical server ano. Okay, to serve the purpose of the server, 'di ba? Basahin ko lang ano, the process of dividing a physical server into multiple unique and isolated virtual servers by means of a software application. At etong software application na ito yung tinatawag natin na hypervisor. Its virtual server can run its own OS independently. Okay, so meron tayo ditong ano. Let's say dito sa ating illustration ano, Ito yung ating physical server. And because of a software called the hypervisor, nakaka-create tayo ng iba't ibang virtual servers na merong mga sariling operating systems at magagamit sa purpose kung saan man ito i-intend. Okay? That is server virtualization. Actually, class, meron tayong tatlong klase ng server virtualization. You have your full, you have your para, at saka yung OS level virtualization. Sa full and para virtualization, dito tayo gumagamit ng hypervisor. Hindi lang ako sure kung hypervisor or hypervisor. Please correct me na lang kung alin yung tama dito. And then yung pangatlo, this is the OS level virtualization na hindi gumagamit ng hypervisor. Okay? Class, pakibasa nyo na lang po anong differences nito. But eto lang, pag 1 and 2, gumagamit sila ng hypervisor, pero sa number 3, hindi po. Kasi dito, meron tayong tawag nito. Instead, the virtualization capability, which is part of the physical server OS, performs all the tasks of a hypervisor. So, directly from the physical server OS, nakakapag-create tayo ng mga server ng iba't ibang klaseng server, virtual servers. Okay? So, that's it, class, for our part 3 na discussion on lesson 4. This is all about systems management. Now, if you have any questions on the matter, on the topic that we have discussed, please let me know para matulungan ko kayo, ma-answer kung ano man yung mga questions ninyo. So, I will see you on lesson 4, part 4 on operations management in a while. Bye-bye.